Tonight, we're talking about whether institutions that protect every Barbadian are not only independent, but we want them to be seen to be independent. Now, over the past few days, many Barbadians have been discussing the swearing in of, the new commissioner of police that has come across my WhatsApp feed many, many times. And I think what Barbadians are concerned about is not the swearing in of the new commissioner of police, because if we have a new commissioner of police, they have to be sworn in, right? And I don't think that Barbadians are questioning the ability of the commissioner of police or, the suitability of the new commissioner of police. It is the prime minister attending the swearing in of the commissioner of police and making a statement and the type of statement that is made. And oftentimes people say, Vihoy, everybody else who's on, I'm a big girl. They say, they just criticize the prime minister for everything she does on the Marcia Week show. They criticize her. But listen, be fair. Let's be fair. The reality is that there's nothing that says that the PM cannot attend the swearing in of the commissioner of police. There's nothing. That is not my concern. The concern, I think, for most Barbadians, it's much deeper. Right? It's constitutional. We're talking about conventions, right? Constitutional convention. What normally happens? We're talking about public confidence. We're talking about the prime minister using judgment, being measured, using judgment in what she does. And sadly, this is something that we're seeing lacking in the prime minister. Because it's not so much can I do this? Does the law say I can't do this or I can't do this? Is whether I should do this. Should I do this? That's leadership. A lot of times I sit here and I have to decide, should I do this? It's not whether I can do it. It's should I do this? I see myself as a leader. The commissioner of police occupies one of the most important offices in this country. The commissioner of police has the authority to investigate crime. And it means that the commissioner can authorize an investigation involving ordinary citizens like you and I, right? Business leaders, or even members of parliament, cabinet members, and yes, even a prime minister. So that office belongs to the people of Barbados. I wonder if you're following where I'm going tonight. It does not belong to any political party. It doesn't belong to any government. That office is above politics. So that is why what we saw has caused many people to pause once again. Mayor Motley, where's the discretion? Where's the judgment as a leader? The Prime Minister attended the ceremony and publicly pledged her government's full support of the new commissioner. Now, when you do that, Prime Minister Mayor Motley, you cause us to wonder, what do you mean? We understand that every government should support the police service, right? We now call it police service, with all the resources, especially with all the crime that is happening, the equipment, the training, and the funding that they need. I don't think any reasonable Barbadian would disagree with that. But the question, was this the right place to talk about pledging support for the new commissioner? Was this the right moment? Was this the right message? And then they say we pick on the prime minister. But we're talking about using judgment as a leader, understanding the position of the commissioner of police. And understanding that democracy is not just on the on does not just depend on actual independence, but it's also the appearance of independence. So imagine with me, a husband says to his wife, trust me, or vice versa. Well, I'll just say a husband says to his wife. It could be a wife says to his husband, said to his wife. Imagine a husband says to his wife, trust me, nothing is going on. But at the same time, there are repeated situations that create doubt for this wife, right? Late night meetings that are never explained, secretive phone calls, hiding, taking a phone call, messages that seem unusual coming into the husband. And the truth is that individually, each of those incidents may have an innocent explanation, but when they begin to add up, the issue is no longer simply whether something improper has happened. The issue now becomes trust. And I want to say that is where we are with this government right now. Because once confidence begins to erode, whether in that marriage relationship or relationship with the government, every incident is viewed through a different lens. Do you agree? The appearance starts to matter just as much as the reality, right? So that is why wise husbands and wise wives should, they generally avoid situations that unnecessarily create suspicion, even when they have done nothing wrong, because sometimes there's nothing there. It just creates suspicion. And it's not because they're guilty, because they value the relationship. They respect their relationship. And the same principle, I believe, applies to the government. For there to be true democracy, we need public confidence in that democracy. If people lose confidence in the independence of public institutions, then we weaken democracy, right? Now we spoke even last week on the show through former Prime Minister Frondell Stewart, and these are issues that we have raised on the show before, that we are currently without a permanently appointed director of public prosecutions. And we said last week on the show and repeated what the former Prime Minister said, that he was appalled, he was shocked to see that the Prime Minister publicly questioned the decision of the DPP. And as I said, we're currently without a permanently appointed DPP. And all of these things add up, like the husband who is doing all of these funny things that the wife concerned about, or vice versa, the wife doing strange things that causes strange things that cause suspicion. When you are going to publicly criticize the decision of the DPP, and then we don't have any permanently appointed DPP, we don't have a permanently appointed Auditor General, and we have now witnessed the PM taking a highly visible role in the swearing in of the independent Commissioner of Police. I'm sure each event might have an explanation, but it's a picture that these events paint when we view them together. Okay? Where's the restraint from the prime minister, from the leader? Where is the judgment? Now, I am seeing a post going around, and the post is basically saying by reputable persons, and what they're saying is that there's no prime minister based on their research, the research that was done, and I didn't see any online, and if I might be wrong, any prime minister that even attended the swearing in of the commissioner of police. They're saying that they recall previous prime ministers making themselves a visible, um, um, did not make themselves a visible part of the swearing in. So I don't know if they attended, but they did not make themselves a visible part. Let me stick with that, because I can't verify whether they attended or not. But they did not make themselves a visible part of the swearing in of a commissioner of police. Errol Barrow, Tom Adams, Bernard St. John, Erskine Sandiford, Owen Arthur, David Thompson, or Frondell Stewart. Because to these prime ministers, the office of the commissioner was expected to stand apart from the day-to-day political symbolism. But we witnessed something different. The prime minister didn't just attend, she pledged support of the new commissioner. And some of you might say it's trivial. It's not trivial. We have to understand the role of the commissioner of police. So, will the commissioner of police be let me put this, let me be careful how I put this. What if there should be an investigation into any somebody in parliament, of the prime minister herself? What is going to happen? I'm sure, I want to believe with the competence of the commissioner of police that she would do the right thing and be independent, because I believe she's a woman that's very well trained. But we're talking about the appearance of independence. And I hope we understand that this is not something that is trivial, right? It's not something that is trivial. And I know they're going to say that, but it's not. It's over a period of time, all the things that we have seen. And we are in a one-party, with a one-party government. Correct. You know the hat that you're wearing at the time, and you know your role, you know your place. And I really believe that this is something the I believe, yes, Angel Humble, these are constitutional positions. They're both independent constitutional positions. You're correct. You're correct. And but this woman, this commissioner of police, I've met, as I said, I've had to deal with her, having gone to the police all the time, to get my to get permission and so on. She is somebody who I believe is of noble character, and somebody I say congratulations to the new commissioner of police. I just really I wonder about Mia Motley, and who advises her. Who advises her? There's no way. There is no way. There, as somebody who advises this prime minister? Who advises her? Did she just get up and decide to do this? Just open her mouth and ah anyway, you see, Lennox Chandler, this is what I'm saying, that people now are going to believe, and that's what the government, if you're listening, look at this comment from Lennox Chandler. If you think that we're just on here trying to cause problems, it's that you have given us the reasons. Because if there's no prime minister that have made themselves so prominent at the swearing in of a commissioner of police, no other prime minister except Mia Mottley, what do you think people are going to think? And we don't have an opposition. What do you think people are going? There's no leader of the opposition. What do you think people are going to think? Let's be real now. You're watching. I know the government. I know you're watching. Honestly, she should not have done it, and you know that too. You know that. No, she doesn't understand ethics. She does not.